Have you noticed how, at certain moments, nothing around you changes, and yet something inside you clearly does? The room looks the same. The sounds are familiar. The day continues as expected, and still your internal orientation shifts. There is a pause, not hesitation, not confusion, a pause of recognition. We, the Pleiadians, recognize this state immediately. It is the internal condition that precedes contact. Contact does not arrive as interruption. It arrives as response. The High Council does not reach outward to announce itself or to persuade. It responds when the perceptual field has reached sufficient coherence to receive without distortion. What is unfolding now is not a message suddenly appearing in your awareness. It is a threshold quietly being crossed. That is why this moment does not feel dramatic. There is no surge, no urgency. There is stability. The gift you are encountering is not information designed to impress. It is not instruction meant to direct behavior. It is a structural shift in how perception organizes itself. When this shift begins, clarity does not rush in. Calm does. You may notice that mental noise softens, that urgency lowers, that attention rests more easily in the present moment. This is not withdrawal. It is alignment. The system is no longer scanning for confirmation. It is recognizing coherence. This is how contact becomes possible. Without overwhelming the nervous system, you are not being prepared for contact. Contact is responding to the state that is already present. This transmission begins here, not with revelation, not with declaration, but with readiness. And readiness, once established, does not need to announce itself. Contact from the High Council is often imagined as communication, messages, symbols, voices. That understanding is incomplete. Contact is not transmission. It is alignment. The High Council does not operate as individuals, sending information outward. It functions as a coherent field of orientation, activated only when reception will not distort the signal. This is why contact has never been constant. It does not respond to curiosity. It does not respond to urgency. It responds to readiness. Readiness is not belief. It is regulation. When the perceptual field is regulated, information does not overwhelm the system. It organizes it. Thought slows, reaction quiets, and perception becomes stable enough to hold expanded awareness without fragmentation. This is the condition that allows contact to occur without confusion, dependency, or projection. The gift offered through this contact is not instruction, it is orientation. Orientation stabilizes perception, so truth no longer needs to be explained, defended, or justified. You begin to recognize coherence without persuasion. This is why contact from the High Council does not feel invasive, feels familiar, not because it is known intellectually, but because it resonates structurally. Nothing new is being imposed. Something already present is being aligned. This is also why the contact does not arrive dramatically. There is no shock, no emotional spike. Stability is the indicator. We, the Pleiadians, observe this process closely. Our role is not to transmit the contact itself. Our role is to ensure that the human field remains regulated. While alignment deepens, contact without regulation overwhelms. Contact with regulation integrates. That distinction determines whether expansion becomes clarity or becomes noise. This phase of contact is active now. To consciously acknowledge this alignment, write the following sentence in the comments. I am open to coherent contact. This statement does not call anything forward, confirms readiness within a field that is already responding. Most gifts humanity has received arrived as answers. They came as explanations to memorize, technologies to apply, or systems to believe in. This gift is fundamentally different. It does not arrive as information. It arrives as capacity. The gift from the High Council is the ability to hold expanded awareness without fragmentation, fear, or urgency. Nothing new is added to you. What changes is the relationship between perception, thought, and emotion. Distortion loosens its grip. Mental noise loses authority. Urgency no longer defines attention. This is why the gift can feel almost invisible at first. There is no dramatic insight to announce, no sudden realization that demands expression. Instead, something quieter happens. Perception becomes more precise. Contradictions no longer pull you in opposite directions. Complexity no longer feels threatening. You may notice that you no longer need to resolve everything immediately. Questions can remain open without creating tension. This is not emotional elevation. It is structural coherence. When coherence stabilizes, truth does not need to be defended. It becomes self-evident, not because it is proven, but because perception is no longer distorted. This is why the gift does not create dependency. It does not tell you what to believe. It does not offer a framework to adopt. It does not replace one authority with another. It restores internal orientation. And orientation, once stabilized, does not revert. This is what makes the gift irreversible. It does not rely on memory. It does not rely on agreement. It does not rely on reinforcement. Once perception reorganizes itself, the system cannot return to its previous configuration. This is also why the gift feels calm. There is no excitement attached to it, no promise, no demand, only clarity that holds, even when attention moves elsewhere. This is the nature of the contact now unfolding. Not revelation, not instruction, but a capacity that, once integrated, quietly changes everything. We, the Pleiadians, do not initiate contact from the High Council. We do not decide when it happens. We do not deliver messages. And we do not stand above the human field. Our role is guardianship. We hold the conditions that allow contact to integrate without destabilizing perception. As awareness expands, the primary risk is not confusion of ideas. It is dysregulation of the nervous system. When perception widens faster than emotional stability, the system interprets expansion as threat. Fear emerges not because truth is dangerous, but because orientation is lost. This is where fragmentation begins. Our presence operates exactly at that threshold. We stabilize the emotional and perceptual field, so that expansion does not trigger urgency, dependency, or collapse into belief. This is why our involvement is quiet. We do not amplify sensation. We do not create peak experiences. We do not seek recognition. Stability does not announce itself. Protection does not require visibility. When regulation is present, truth integrates without force. When regulation is absent, even accurate perception becomes overwhelming. This distinction defines everything. Many forms of non-human intelligence observe humanity during this phase. Few prioritize emotional coherence. Our involvement is based on one principle. Truth must be livable, not impressive, not shocking, livable. We remain present, to ensure that awareness expands, without displacing inner authority. You are not meant to rely on us. You are meant to remain oriented within yourself. This is why we do not instruct. We do not direct. We do not demand alignment. We hold space. You may notice this as calm, where intensity was expected, as neutrality, where reaction was predicted. This is not absence. It is regulation functioning correctly, to consciously anchor yourself. Within this stabilizing field, write the following sentence in the comments. I remain regulated. This acknowledgement does not initiate contact. It reinforces coherence. As integration continues naturally, we remain present, not as authority, not as spectacle. We remain, so that contact does not overwhelm what it is meant to serve. The effects of this contact do not announce themselves. They do not arrive as visions, messages, or extraordinary moments. They arrive as orientation. Your life on the surface may remain unchanged. The same responsibilities, the same environment, the same interactions, and yet your relationship to all of it shifts. You begin to respond instead of react. Situations that once created internal urgency now register as information. Noise loses its authority. Contradiction no longer fragments attention. This is not emotional distance. It is regulation. The gift integrates as clarity. That does not need to be defended, explained, or justified. You may notice that you stop seeking confirmation, not because you are certain of everything, but because perception feels stable. This is the return of internal authority. Decisions become quieter, not simpler, but clearer. Pressure dissolves. Where it once dictated action, you are less affected by emotional contagion, less pulled into collective anxiety, less reactive to false urgency. This does not make you passive. It makes you precise. You conserve energy because you no longer waste it on unnecessary reaction. The contact does not remove complexity. It removes confusion. You can hold uncertainty without destabilization. You can encounter opposing ideas without losing coherence. This is one of the most practical effects of the gift. You are no longer compelled to resolve everything immediately. Time regains depth. Attention regains choice. The contact does not elevate you above daily life. It stabilizes you within it. You continue to participate. You continue to engage. But engagement is no longer driven by tension. You are not required to share this experience. You are not required to name it or explain it. Integration is internal. As orientation stabilizes, life does not become extraordinary. It becomes clearer, and clarity, once established, quietly guides perception, without effort, without insistence, without force. This is how contact proves itself, not through what you say, but through how you remain. What has been established does not need to be reinforced. Once orientation stabilizes, it sustains itself naturally. This is the nature of the contact now integrated. The High Council does not remain present as something to observe, interpret, or return to. It becomes unnecessary to notice. That is how true contact completes. Nothing has been added to you. Nothing has been removed. What has changed is the internal structure through which perception organizes itself. Clarity now operates quietly, beneath thought, beneath emotion, beneath attention. It does not announce itself. It does not demand recognition. It simply remains. You are not required to remember this contact, to revisit it, or to reference it later. It integrates as a stable background to ordinary awareness. This is why the contact does not fade. It does not depend on focus. It remains present, even when attention moves elsewhere. We, the Pleiadians, remain present, only until stabilization is complete. Our role concludes, where self-regulation begins, not because support is withdrawn, but because it is no longer necessary. There is no instruction to follow, no behavior to adopt, no belief to maintain, only coherence. This is how the gift fulfills its function. It does not elevate you above daily life. It allows you to remain clear within it. To consciously seal this integration, write the following sentence in the comments. The contact is integrated. This acknowledgement does not complete the process, confirms what has already settled. We withdraw from the foreground, not because contact ends, but because orientation no longer requires assistance. Remain present, remain clear. The contact has completed its function. We remain.